Everybody say hi, Marlena.
Oh my God.
You're late.
Now we can start.
Now we can start. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning.
Good, good. I just wanted to do a quick little intro. I'm not going to take a lot of time talking because I want you guys to get all of the value from this beautiful panel. So first and foremost, what I want to say is we are in a turbulent type market. We all know it. We're all acknowledging it. And it is during these times in this market that it's really important we come together and we share, because there's so many tips and tools that someone else might have that you could implement in your business. And it's those little things sometimes that make a difference. And so for me, I stand here in gratitude because at this office, we have agents and people that are so willing to share with everybody else and so willing to collaborate and just give knowledge to each other. And so, thank you guys. Thank you to each and every one of you. You guys are true professionals. This panel that is here, that is going to be talking and sharing their tips and their tools, I feel that it's even much more than that, because they're amazing human beings and they conduct themselves so professionally, and each one has their niche and their way of doing business. And so I just want to acknowledge each and every one of you guys. It takes sometimes courage and, like a little bit of gusto to get up here and to talk and to share your journey and to share the tools, that you utilize in your business, and just to connect with everybody. So, thank you guys very much for being open and for saying yes when the team made that call, because part of you probably wanted to just be like, I'm not spending my day doing this, and I don't want to be up here. So, thank you guys. I also wanted to acknowledge my business partners, Elizabeth and Sonia. They're amazing leaders, and it's so ironic, like the transformation that I think a lot of you have probably seen over the last couple of years at Champions that has happened. It's a beautiful transformation. And us three ladies are here, and we're running and operating things together and side by side, like with such unity and also such collaboration that things are flowing. And our goal is to continue to bring value to you guys and to be here to support you in your business in any way that you guys need. And thank you, Elizabeth and Sonia, for being part of this team and for showing up and having so much heart in everything that you do. It's so funny, I walked in and it kind of a little example of everything. I asked them, are we ready? And then she's like, you're surrounded by Virgos. We're born ready.
Yeah, we're all right there.
Born ready.
We're like front center right here.
But it's beautiful to share talents, and I don't give them enough, as much recognition and just say it outwardly that I appreciate you guys and the love and the heart that it takes to lead a team and to lead an organization. I thank you. I feel like we truly are the power of three here, and it's meant to be, and it is a beautiful thing to witness. And so thank you guys to you. I also, I want to remind you guys, when you're listening to this amazing panel, that you're going to have the opportunity to ask questions. Make sure you're evaluating the questions that you want to ask. Take this time to really dig in and to find out what is going to help your business. Because right now, I can tell you, like, it is a really crucial time, you guys. Like, we have to show up. We have to show up every day for ourselves and for our business. And the one tip that I want to give you guys that has really helped me build all of the businesses that I have and really stay like connected and in alignment with pushing those businesses forward is to take downtime every day. And it might sound funny, but like thinking time. That's the tool that I use that I feel gives me the most value in my business. Because when you take that time and you're sitting there by yourself with a pen in hand and a notebook, and you're thinking, what can I do to better myself? What can I do to better my business? What is going good? What is not going so good? What can I implement more of? What do I need to eliminate? What do my P&Ls look like? Meaning, what am I spending money on? Is it effective? Is it not effective? And that doesn't need to be done once a month or once a quarter right now. Like those thoughts and that planning action, it has to be done daily. So whatever you take from here, whatever notes you take from them, I just ask you moving forward, try to implement that and see how your businesses and your life will change. Because we get busy and we don't take that time to sit and really think about our business and what is working, and what is not. Because that thinking time, you're gonna get a lot of answers in, and it's going to tell you where you need to get better, because right now we have to be masters at our craft. The professionals will thrive. They will not only survive, but the professionals and the people that are doing the work, because nothing substitutes work, will thrive and will prosper in this business, especially during this time. Because if you can thrive right now, believe me, real estate comes in cycles, and you are going to be more than thriving when all of this settles in. And just like the cycle, it always continues, there's gonna be that boom again. So do the work right now for yourself. Sit and think and evaluate your business and show up as professionals. And then I'm gonna let everybody get started. Once again, thank you to each and every one of you for being here, for giving us your time and just your valuable input. I really appreciate you guys, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you. The girls are gonna be asking the questions.
This is on. Okay. Hi, guys. So, you guys ready?
Yes.
Ready.
So think of it like People's Court, but this is Remax Court. No, just kidding. If none of you guys know any of our panelists, so let me introduce them one by one. So everybody knows Javier Sanchez. Raise your hand, Javier. They might not know you. I'm just kidding. So Javier has been with Remax quite some time, but he's been a Diamond Award winner with Remax. He's been in the business for over 2 decades. He has a vast experience as being a flipper and investor. He's a team lead in this real estate industry. Next, we have Ursi. Ursi, hi. And Ursi's been a 100% club winner with Remax. She's been in the business for 35 years. She still loves it. I spoke to her before. She sat and she says every time she meets with a client, she gets super excited. So I can't wait to hear her answers. We have Patricia, and we're happy to have her here. 100% club winner here with Remax. She's been in the business for over 30 years and has been in the real estate and mortgage industry. And we're happy to have her here. Lenny. Oh, Lenny. Lenny is a Titan Award winner. We all know Lenny. And she's been with us for quite some time, since 2017. Titan Award with Remax. She has her team here, and I can't wait to pick her brain. And I know she's nervous. No, I'm just kidding. And last but not least, we have Frank. Frank comes to us here at Remax. He's a Platinum Award winner with Remax and has been in the business for over 12 years. He specializes in residential and income-producing properties. And I can't wait to hear more about what he has to share with us. And we're all excited, right? Give them a quick round of applause, because these guys are winners here. So we'll get started.
I forgot to mention something.
Here we go.
I know, but I have to. You guys listen to what they have to say. Right here is talent. You have like 100 million in volume up here. Imagine that. Like, this is like a powerful panel. And so that's like the majority of offices that are around. I just had to throw that in.
That's not Bitcoin or crypto, guys. No. That's real volume right there. Okay, so take it away.
So thank you guys again. So we're going to start off by asking, we'll start with you, Javier,
Why me?
Why where do most of your listings come from?
I can say like most of, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Most of my listing right now is going by percentage. It can be like online leads, that go like Google Ads, pay-per-click. I can do like, I guess right now we got about almost like, we got 5 transactions from past clients too. Okay, I think this month, yeah, we got 5 transactions with past clients. And that's online leads, that's past clients and advertise too. That's what I do, a lot of advertising.
Thank you. And if you could pass it to Ursi. Same question, Ursi. Where do most of your listings come from?
99% of my listings come from past clients and referrals, and that's it. I don't do any advertising, I don't do anything except take good care of my clients and I pray a lot.
Tricia.
Same here. Most of my clients are, I would say, 80% are past clients, 10% is center of influence, and then the other 10% come from some advertising that I do. I don't do internet advertising, but I do a lot of mailers, open house type of thing. So, I do send out marketing pieces during that time, and I have received new clients off of that.
Hi, as many of you know that I'm a registered nurse. So mainly my focus is nurses. So I work with healthcare professionals. So I've been working over 20 years as a nurse. So I've been part-time doing it. When I'm working, I do build my trust, build relationship with them. So building relationship with them, making friends with them, and sharing my ideas about real estate. They trust me because I'm a nurse themselves. So I like working with them. Mostly 90% is from the hospital I work with. So I like working with healthcare professionals. I love them and I care for them, and they know I invest a lot in properties, and they follow me in my social, Instagram, Facebook. That's how they know me too. And when they're ready to buy or sell, they call me.
Awesome. It's great.
About 95% of my business comes from my sphere of influence. I'm very active in my community at my church. I belong to a local Kiwanis club. I'm on the board of directors of Lincoln Training Center in South El Monte. And so every time I'm meeting someone new, I add them into my database. And so my database provides me repeat business and referrals. And a little bit comes from open houses. I love doing open houses because it's always nice to meet new people. And you can meet buyers and sometimes sellers too. So that's where most of my comes from.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, so these questions will probably go one by, we'll pick and choose who we're gonna be asking these questions, so get ready. I can't wait for you guys to do your confessionals. No, I'm just kidding. Javier Sanchez.
Again?
Again. Okay.
Yeah, go for it, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, the question is, do you farm? And if you do, how many doors and how often do you touch your farm?
Okay, that's funny because that's what I do a lot. I do a lot of farming. Number-wise, you have to know your territory, okay? I think this young kid, he know me. He was trying to take over Montclair.
Yes, we know him. We know him very well.
You know what? That's not gonna happen. He tried. But anyways, it's easy to know your numbers, and I gave a class not too long ago, talking about every door direct mail. That's a free app from the post office. Some of you guys already know. You can see how many people live in Montclair and by areas, by postman. So what I do, I already know how many pieces they're going out, and then how many respond I get, and then I know what it takes to go ahead and get a listing in Montclair, and then by numbers, sold numbers. That's basically what it is. It's not just farming like crazy. Know your areas, the pockets to see pockets in the city. You say Montclair, I do Montclair. I do North Fontana, 92336. That's what I do a lot. There's a lot of competition over there.
Now everybody knows where he goes.
Yeah, that's what I do, but you gotta be
Stay
consistent.
Stay
You gotta be
here.
consistent. And second, center of influence, yes, I do a lot of stuff like that, like helping small business, like my cleaners, I go there and I have flyers there. The restaurants that I go, like sushi places, like little small business. Since you spending money, they help you to go ahead and promote your business too. And I can tell you that paid up too, But I do always go and put flyers there,
So you're always visible where you're at.
Exactly, and like, I'll say like, probably like about almost 10 years ago, I moved to Upland, the colonies. And then like, there's a lot of competition over there, like top producers too. So it took me a little while, and I can say we closed about 3 transactions in the colonies. Now I live in Altaloma, and I've been living there for 5 years, and I closed like 3 transactions. So it's about territory and be consistent,
I have a quick question that I want to add on to where you said, when we asked you, where do you get most of your listings from? Because you did mention pay-per-click from on Google or like online. Out of curiosity, how much do you invest in that?
I'm not gonna tell you how much I spend, but kind
But
of
like, what's the range?
well, right now it's kind of like, I spend some money,
I thought you spent pennies. So,
it's not about spending money, that's what it is. You have to be out there either with flyers or door knocking.
so question, for a person that wants to start doing that, how much do you think that they should invest into that?
Okay, all depends. If they got the money, they have to throw some money in there. They can, thousands to be able to
Okay.
go ahead and be visible out there. And you have to know what you're doing, If you don't know anything about pay-per-click or how to advertise online, hire somebody and you're gonna spend money, I was lucky enough, a few years ago, I got a young girl that she graduated from college. She got a degree and she put all my systems together. That's why I got everything in place. So nothing goes to the trash. Every single call that I get, it goes to my CRM. Even like a buyer from 4 or 5 years ago, I mentioned it the last time, I closed like a $1.3 million buyer, okay? And it was a $35,000 commission. That buyer was in my system for almost 5 years, okay? So I thought it was kind of like, it was like a guy from India. I thought it was like a fake lead, but you know what? No, the guy bought 2 houses from me. He bought the house in Rancho 1.3, and his daughter is a doctor. She bought a house from me in Beaumont too. So that lead was in my system CRM. You have to do the follow-ups, that's what you have to go there.
Thank you.
Okay, so this question is for Ursi. Do you send a pre-listing package? If so, when, how, and what's included?
Okay, that is because of where I get my clients from. I don't even get interviewed. I don't do anything. I just go, I give them the MLS. I give them the MLS, I give them the market evaluation so I'm not really a good one for that question because they already trust me in some way, whether I got referred with them, whether I'm I'm big on networking groups. So I have a connection to everybody, or somebody knows and trusts that person, and it's all about trust and if you feel comfortable with the person. That's the whole key. So I just walk in, they don't interview anybody. I walk in and get the listings.
Okay, thank you. Did any of you guys send a pre-listing package?
I don't.
I do.
You do? Okay, what do you send?
Okay.
He's selling us.
No, pretty much you have to be professional, okay? There's a lot of competition out there. That's why you have to go ahead and shine out there. That's the first thing you have to do. So this is what I do. As soon as they go on my system, as soon as they go on the pay-per-click, as soon as I get the call, they go there. So then I send the package via email, and I pretty much mail these like a regular mail, like U.S. Post Office. And then if I don't get a response, I go and knock on the front door. That's what I do. And that's what I do. Pretty much this is what it is. So this is a package right here, Remax. Okay? It's a blue brown right here, guys. This is what it is right here. So when you open it, it shows this over here. So if you open this over here, okay, it shows right here, how many cuts we sold, and it shows my team. There's no way I can take credit for everything, I got a team. So this is kind of like what I do, and I throw the CRM over here, all the stuff. So that's how you can go there and do it. But the main thing is to look professional, okay? Don't just drop a paper just like that. It has to look like this.
How many pages CMA is that?
I'm sorry?
How many pages CMA is that?
It's quite a few. Actually, I got a listing contract here because I was ready to go and like knock at the front door and like, you know what, you're ready to sign? You gotta be ready.
So
You're ready.
you got these in and everything.
Yeah, there's no way you wanna go ahead and go back. You're trying to close the gap right there. By the time you go back to the office, they come back with the listing, that's gonna be done. Especially if you get those third-party leads, like HomeLight, Fast Escrow and all that. There's a lot of competition over there.
But you send that by mail sometimes?
No, I send this over here. When I go and I knock on the front door, I go ready with a contract. Because we close over here, we sell people. Okay, you only got like a 1 or 2 chances to go ahead and close that seller.
Strong.
Round of applause now. And that's it, no kidding. All right, this question, Ursi, don't hate us, but we're going back to you on this. Because you said that you get hired immediately. So because you do, which is great, when do you discuss commission?
Oh, while I'm there, that's a very easy thing to discuss. It's not difficult, because it depends on what they want. And I always tell them the commission is really important because if you have such a low commission, the multiple listing, there's going to be agents out there that are going to show, and the higher the commission is, the more people you're going to get, and it's a numbers game. So I give them the value of what a commission can do, a good commission. And also, it's really important though that you show value in yourself too. You're doing show them how much you do and what you do. And by the end of the transactions, they've told me, wow, you agents really work a lot. We didn't know how much you work. But you have to give them that personal touch and call them and connect with them. And that's what's so important, because I consider myself as a coordinator. I coordinate as a listing agent. I call the other agent. I call the escrow, the title, get in touch with everybody. I'm always letting my client know what is happening, me, myself, because that's the personal touch, and I know the correct information. Even if escrow has called them, I'm just calling up to follow up. Do you understand? Did you know what's going on? And I think it's really important, that follow up and that personal. That's why my second person that I've ever done a transaction with back in the 80s, he still calls me for advice and anytime he needs help, because they know they can call me anytime with any questions and I'll be there to answer them.
Thank you. Okay, this question is for Lenny. Lenny, what is your most common objection?
Mostly my common objection is like, right now, everybody's talking about interest rate. So you encounter that all the time because people have a fear now. There's a market change since last year. So everybody doesn't want to move because the interest rate is so low and they don't feel like selling it. Where will I go? They always ask me, how much will be my mortgage? I'm downsizing, but still the same. So always mention to them that interest rate, you're not married with it. You could refinance in 6 months. So every time there's a resolution for every issue right now. So where everybody doesn't want to move, this is the time you could move and refinance, and you find, because the market is still there, the value of prices is still up there. If you want to get your equity right now and go, because you're retired already, why would you keep a 4,000 house if your house is by yourself and so lonely? You still have to sell your house and go to the house that you wanted to retire. So that's mostly the objection right now, is the interest rate for everybody.
Thank you. Frank, what about you?
The
The
greatest
most common,
objection,
yes, that you're receiving right now.
it's pretty much the same. With buyers, it's the interest rate, because their payment is so much higher than it would have been if they bought a year ago. And sellers, it's the same thing. They're afraid to leave their 2 or 3% interest rate and have to buy in the 7s. And so it is a challenge, but it depends on their life situation. And you try to explain to them the benefits of moving, and sometimes they need a little help, a little nudge, or a little comfort talk to let them know it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, thank you. Oh, Lenny. I can't wait for this one. Do you have or do you use a listing presentation?
Most of the time I use listing presentation. Most of the time, they already trust me when they make appointment with me. They research me, who am I, and they follow me. It's mostly referrals that I go to my listing appointment. It's not cold calling or something. It's just from referrals and from my coworkers and their family and friends. I build my database through my referrals. So when I go do my listing presentation, I just do the property profiles. I have it, and mostly the sales comparable, because I know they have already an idea how much the house worth, but I have to present them what's the market right now. So I usually mention to them, we don't want to be aggressive in the sales, the value of the price. I know you want top dollar, but I could make you top dollar. Even the house price is in the average price. So mostly the sales comparable that I bring in the listing presentation. And also during listing presentation, I present myself. I sell myself. You could Google me or you could Zillow me, because I always use Zillow on my sales. They could see how many sales I have in the last 12 months. It doesn't count new homes because I do new homes too. So, but this one, I tell them I provide good service during presentation and I have those experience already. I market myself before. I know they trust me already, but I still tell them about who I am, who our Remax champion is. That I'm working on Remax champion, it's a big company, and I present Remax champion, I present myself, and I present the whole comparables of the area.
So one side question to that. If you can go back to one of your past clients, what's one thing that they would say that they remembered most about you as their agent?
As an agent, they always trust me. They know I'm an honest person and have this experience. So they follow me all the time. They remember me, that I will help them from the beginning to end. The minute you sign the contract until the end, it's not the end of the period anyway. They still contact me. They trust me. I build relationship with every client I have, and they always be my friends. And 24/7, they know they could trust me and they could depend on my any questions. I help them invest property and I help them get tenants without me asking them to pay me back. It's just referrals.
Very nice. Thank you, Lenny. Fun fact about Lenny, if no one ever knew this, because I know Lenny very well, this lady, she has, well, I know her kids are growing up. She has enrolled her kids in every activity for schools and whatnot. However, she throws really good gatherings at her home, and it's all her past clients, her soon-to-be clients, and people from the hospital. So she's always networking, but she makes it in a way where they come to her home or she makes parties for them or gatherings for them. So that's food for thought, guys.
Okay, the next question is for Ursi. What's the most important thing to take to a listing presentation?
Don't say yourself.
No, you know what? Your confidence and your positive attitude. That's really important, because when you have confidence and they know that you're a professional and that you know what you're doing and that their best interest is at heart, that's golden. Like Lenny said, when they trust you, when you have that confidence and they know, wow, this person really knows what they're doing, they have the experience, and they're knowledgeable. That's priceless.
I agree.
Okay. Mr. Quintanilla, Frank Quintanilla, do you have a system to follow up with your sellers while the home is listed?
I definitely do. I have a checklist. So from the day it's listed, it's maybe like a 50-item checklist that I go through, and I check it every day. In my schedule, I have an hour or so, depending on how many listings I have at the time, to go through the checklist. So every day I go through the checklist and it tells me exactly what to do. So that way I never miss providing outstanding service to my clients.
Out of curiosity, can you share what's on that checklist?
Sure.
Who,
So
who said that one? Can we copy that checklist? What is on this checklist?
you can email me and I'll share it with any one of you that want it. So for example, it has, as soon as I take the listing, it says post on Facebook coming soon. And then it says when to order the sign. And then it says create a flyer, a property flyer. And then schedule the photo session, things like that.
Nice, thank you. Okay, the next question is, because we're moving pretty fast here. Okay, Patricia, do you use showing time? Why or why not?
I do use showing time when I need to, like if it's a vacant house, definitely, I put it on there. But most of my clients nowadays, they don't want a lockbox or whatnot for security reasons. And interesting enough is that luckily lately, the houses that I've put on the market sell pretty fast. So I don't really need to worry about that. I do the mega open houses and get most of the people in, and then there's might be a couple stragglers down the line that week, but then you gather the offers and you shut it down.
Yeah.
So I haven't had to, but if it's a vacant house, nobody's there to show it, then definitely I will, put it on showing time.
Okay, good.
Javier.
She doesn't like me, by the way.
I do. Okay,
Bring it on.
aquí te va, here we go. What is your list price to sale price ratio for your listings?
Now you're going to complicate it, though.
No. And how does it compare to the local market average?
Well, lately, you guys already know, believe it or not, the market is shifting, from the seller side. All depends by area, okay? I'm gonna give you a sample. Montclair, my territory right there. I listed a house for like 640, the house didn't sell, and I ended up dropping like $20,000. Well, actually $25,000, and we put it in escrow. Property in Moreno Valley, same thing, 540, we sold it for 505, okay? And money, okay, different area, okay. I did an open house in the house, first weekend, I don't want the deal. We got like 8 to 9 offers. It goes by areas right now. What I noticed is like the deeper you go into Riverside County or the high desert, property selling longer. That's already a sign that the market is shifting right there. Okay. Now, how do I do it? Ratios, it's kind of like crazy right now, ratios. What I do, I use show time to show my clients. We got so many showings in your property and no offers. That's a sign that the market is shifting in your area. Your neighbor lower the price. You don't want to be competing with your neighbor. You have to be like, you have to have your neighbor compete with you. That's what I use right now. Ratios, it's hard for me to say because it all depends on the area.
But you guys heard that. Montclair is his area. So stay clear. No, I'm just kidding.
No, everyone welcome. You have to pay some kind of tax for me.
Okay, next question is for Frank. What is your strategy for helping sellers prepare their homes for listing, including recommendations like for staging, repairs? Do you offer like vendor services, or how do you have that conversation with them?
That's a great question. It depends on the client. So if many of my sales lately have been kids that have inherited the house and they're emptying the house of their parents' stuff, I almost always tell them once the house is emptied of the personal property, I will send with my compliments my cleaning crew to clean the house. And they all love that because cleaning up a home is a lot of work. And then if I feel they need the help with the smoke detectors and the carbon monoxide detectors and the double strapping of the water heater, then I will also offer to send my handyman to install the smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and the water heater. And then many times these homes have carpets that are 20, 30 years old. If they're really bad, it's better to remove them. But most of the time, it depends. Sometimes I ask them to send a carpet cleaner to steam clean the carpets because they're a lot better steam clean than not. But sometimes I will even offer to send my carpet cleaner to professionally clean the carpets. So it depends. I had a sale in August in which they inherited the house, but they were more than willing to do the carpet cleaning. They paid for it. The detectors and the double strapping, they did it. They were more than happy to do everything I asked. So it depends on the client. If they need the help, I'm willing to give the help up front before it goes, live on the market. And I tell them I'm doing it because it's going to increase the value of the property and we're going to sell it for more.
Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go off track really quick because I want to piggyback on that question. Sorry, son. Because we did talk about, you did talk about repairs. Does anybody on this panel do staging?
I don't do staging personally, no.
Can you pass that over to Patricia? But you do staging, say a little bit more about that.
Okay, so I do work with a stager, and depending on the property, there's some properties that I go and that person's got it so cute, just, you don't want to touch anything. And they don't want you to touch anything because they've done a lot of work to it. So I leave it alone. But in most cases, I do have a stager that goes and consults. And even if they don't go with a full staging of removing furniture and them bringing in furniture, might be too much for them. Depending on the listing, I might go ahead and offer to pay for that or even half of that. But if absolutely that's not, if the house is not going to really change a lot, staging it, they at least have the list of what they need to do, like to declutter. Do they remove all their personal photos? Do they remove, the end table or, whatever it might be? And that gives them an idea, because a lot of my clients, they don't mind doing all of that and get rid of the stuff. But I always use a stager, whether it's even just to give them the list of what they have to do.
Thank you. Oh, okay, so here's a question. Let's go back to Frank. Can you explain your marketing plan for your listings?
Sure. Right off the top, I tell them it's going to go on the multiple listing service and all the major real estate websites, say Redfin and Zillow and Homes.com. And then I tell them I'm going to send a professional photographer who's going to take beautiful photos of the home. I'm also going to provide aerial photos of the home because a lot of people want to see what the home looks like, from 100 feet in the air. And my marketing plan also tells them that I do something many agents don't do, is I provide a floor plan. So a floor plan tells buyers the sizes of the rooms, and it gives them a better idea of what they can, put in the rooms, knowing the dimensions. I also always do a Matterport tour. And I tell them a lot of agents, they're not going to spend the money to do a 3D tour of your property, but I do, because most buyers are going to want to look at your home on their phone or their desktop or their tablet first. And if they can go through the home and see it virtually, they're more likely to come to the open house or call the agent to come take a look at it. And when I do, I tell them I do a mega open house. I have a crew that actually help me put out at least 25 open house signs when I do the initial open house weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And I tell the client I do 25 signs. Most agents do 5, 6, 7, 8. The more signs you get for a property, the more buyers, the more eyes you get coming to view the property, which results in more offers for the property. And I tell them that I also do marketing materials. We're gonna market this home to the 100 nearest neighbors, because many times the buyer is in the neighborhood, or one of the neighbors knows of a buyer that wants to buy that house. And I take a copy of a postcard or a flyer. And let's see, what else? And then I let them know, as part of the marketing plan, that I will stay in constant communication with them, because that's a big gripe with a lot of clients, that their agents don't stay in touch with them. But I stay in touch with them. If they text me, I respond as quick as possible. If they call me at 9 o'clock at night and I'm able to, I answer the phone. Sometimes they would text or call me early in the morning. I do my best to answer the phone and let them know that I'm a great communicator, and I will communicate everything regarding the transaction to them as smoothly as possible.
Okay, thank you. The next question is for Patricia. What is your niche market? What areas do you specialize in? We all know not Montclair. Distressed properties, seniors, etc.
I do specialize in the senior market. I work, I do have my SRES, Senior Real Estate Specialist designation. So first of all, I am a senior now, so I have arrived. And most of my clients are seniors now, 55 plus, it's between 55 and I would say 70 is a big, area of my past clients. I just listed a house, a client that I sold back in 1997, and she called me and she's like, I'm done, I'm divorced, all my kids are gone, I need to get out of this house. But it's so nice to work with them, and some of my clients are over 70 years old, and their referrals, maybe the mother's, their mother, is now at a stage where they can't live alone. Maybe it might be they need to go into a senior community. So I do a lot of networking in those areas. I hold a lot of workshops in the senior centers, and I network with a lot of people that specialize in the senior community, be it, whether they are in-home care, insurance providers, trust attorneys, anything that's got to do with, a senior need, tax attorneys, because sometimes people don't owe anything on their property and they're gonna get a big chunk out of it, and you've got to do your due diligence and say, hey, you're gonna pay some taxes here. So I do a lot of that, and I love working with the senior community, and I enjoy, going back to my clients now, and we're all talking about, gosh, you didn't even have this kid when I first sold you this house, and now she's getting married, and now they want me to sell her her first home. So it's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for, answering these questions. We are getting close to time out, so we want to be able to ask questions and open it up for Q&A. But before we do that, I just want to say, again, thank you. And if any of you guys are paying attention, the thing that I hear over and over and over is, we do not sell anything. We are not salespeople. We are building relationships. It's all about trust. If they don't trust you, you have nothing. So in order for someone to trust you, you have to show up confident. How do you show up confident? By coming to the meetings, by working alongside professionals that are doing what needs to be done in the market today. This market is not gonna get easier before it gets, it's not gonna get easier, it's getting harder. And the number one thing that I'm seeing is, why should I work with you? And you didn't hear anyone say anything about commission. Why? Because people don't question when they know you're capable of doing the job. It's when they think you're not worth it. So show up and be, take whatever you can from them. It's hard to, do it, everything. You just see how everyone's different. There's opportunities everywhere. So just find what you enjoy, get in there, learn the heck out of it, and show up every day for you before anything else. So I just wanted to share that. And do we have any questions that want to be asked? Yes.
You just talked about.
Can you please stand up? And please say your name and what office are you from? Let's see.
I'm sorry, what is her name? Patricia? Patricia, yes. Hey, and
I feel like Oprah.
hi everyone, I'm Michelle Del Muro. I had a question for Patricia. You touched a little bit about discussing the taxes, right? The capital gains that some of your sellers have. So is that a conversation you have with them if they bring it up, or do you bring it up anyway?
I bring it up anyway. I need to make sure that they're protected. If they're not, I don't tell them what they need to do, like what it's gonna be, like you're gonna have to pay X amount or whatever. But I'll say, have you considered talking to your accountant or CPA? And if they don't have one, I've got a list of them myself. But I have to let them know, because a lot of them don't know. They're going, oh, really? I didn't know. I thought, it was all gonna be my money, or, if they're divorced now, there's only one that's gonna take that tax burden. So I always mention it to them.
Anybody else?
No.
This is for, anyone can answer this question. As a listing agent, do you have recently asked on the supplements listings, like a list with asking like a lot of questions to the buyer's agent, like, it's like not a net sheet, but it's like a list asking like cover letter for, in order to the agent submit the offers for the buyers. I don't know if that
Are
was
you
clear.
asking if I ask for a letter from the
No,
buyer's
if you
agent?
do,
Or
if you
do I
have a letter,
provide it?
if you provide a letter on the supplements for the buyer's agent to fill it up and send them with an offer that they're gonna send it to you.
Yeah, so she's asking if you guys include, like, 'cause certain agents will have their own cover letter that they want, it's like a summary of the offer. They want that completed, so they put it in the supplement. So in order for you to submit your offer,
You have to complete that. I have not done that, no. Has anybody?
Anybody on panel?
Never.
I haven't done that.
Okay.
That's just more work for the agent.
As it is, we already got a lot of brochures,
Yeah.
and I gave them an offer with like 45, pages, and we only looked to the offer.
Yeah.
But
You don't wanna
that
rely
is a
on
good
that.
idea. That is a good
Yeah.
idea, because when you do have multiple offers, I didn't think about that, but when you do have multiple offers, that'll take away, you having to sit there and kind of break it down, what kind of offer it is, what, percentage they're gonna give down, that kind of stuff. So that's a great idea.
Okay. Who's next? I got the mic. Who's next? I'm sorry, honestly, I feel like I'm on the older one for sure. Hold on, sir. What is your name and what city are you from?
Joe Garcia from Liver. So regardless of market, what would you say is one thing that you've done consistently that you can attribute to your success?
Well, I can answer that easily because I am consistently in touch with all my clients. I send handwritten letters also, and it's all about the personal touch. I'm really on the personal touch and having and building relationships. I have sold my clients' homes numerous times. I'm the family realtor, their children's homes, generational, and now that some of them are retiring, I'm handling their transactions. So it's all about relationships and trust, but it's not a fast, quick. It's, years and years of building those relationships, that trust. I have families that will refer me to all their cousins, their aunts, their uncles. I'm also probate certified, and I do a lot with the elderly also, as Patricia does, because first-time home buyers, their kids, to their elderly parents that need, or their elderly parents have passed away. So I run the gamut, Orange County, LA County, San Bernardino, Riverside. I'm from Silver Lake, South Pasadena, East LA to Laguna to Lake Forest. I mean, I'm all over the place, but you gotta get that relationship, and you have to find your niche. A lot of people if you like Javier's totally different. Everybody has their own niche. And if you like to door knock and cold call, some people are really good at that. Other people at networking. Find what you love to do and you're comfortable with it, and just do it. And you'll be successful. But you have to find what you love and what you're comfortable with. There's all kinds of marketing. You can spend money, you can do mail outs. It's just finding what you want to do and just do it.
So one thing what I do is being consistent, okay? So what I've been doing for years, for the last 20 years. What's it right here? Can anybody read right here?
Please tell us what it says, Javier.
So that's what it is. You gotta be consistent. I sold this house in Montclair, okay? I can feel proud of myself. I sold a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. It was 1,100 square feet. That was the record in Montclair like 2 months ago. I sold it for $710,000. So I got it over here. So then from this house, I got this house over here that we closed yesterday. So you gotta be consistent. So we send like another 5,000 flyers. Whatever you do, you have to be consistent. I understand the market stuff. You probably don't have the money to go ahead and do it. I used to do a lot of walk around with flyers, door knocking. Actually, I love to do that face to face. So don't say you don't got no money. You can go ahead and spend, like to say, 100,000 flyers and walk around. You don't have to go like fancy like this, because I've done it before with like really cheap flyers and door knocking. Actually, this house over here, I made this guy probably like almost 10 years ago door knocking. So I sold a house to him. He came back to me. He sold this flyer, and he goes, "You know what, Javier? It's time for me to go ahead and sell." So he sold his house. We closed escrow yesterday, and he bought another house in the Highlands. Consistency, guys.
Who's next?
Oh, I'm sorry, one more thing.
He sells in Montclair.
Yeah, no, where's my title lady? Where's my title lady? Can you tell them how many labels that are already consistent from you?
Thousands at a time. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Marlena with SoCal Title. We probably do anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 at times for Javier. So he's consistent, and he's always doing the same farm over and over and over in Montclair.
No, all over. When I get leases out of the area. When I do like a non-occupied, then I use envelopes like this, and I order labels. So I spend money. I spend like almost like $3,000, $3,500 in a folding machine. I can go ahead and do to say like 5,000 letters in less than an hour. And I pay somebody to go ahead and put the labels. It cost me like $100, and mail out. So I keep saying this: you need to pay for the permit from the city of Upland, and the rate is low. It's really low too. So use that. Which is the permit? Use the permit from the city of Upland. It's really cheap, on the Rema Champions.
And this is on top of all of his regular farming that he already does. He does every single one of his closings. So.
Yep. Thank you, Marlene.
Who's up?
You get a next title.
Hold on, I'm coming. All right.
I can't ask for you.
My question is about when you send out the postcard,
do you use EDD like a door by door, or you put the label with directly the address?
So you know the market is changing. What I do, I got a guy who pass flyers. He charged $90 for every 1,000. Okay, so that's cheaper than every door direct mail. I print the every door direct mail because I keep some of the flyers with me. If I want to go ahead and market like a little area, Montclair or the North Fontana. I do a lot of North Fontana too. So I can go either way, every door direct mail. If I got a good month, I can go ahead and send every door mail, which is really expensive. Okay, or call my flyer guy, $90 for every 1,000. Minimum is like 4,000. He can go ahead and pass. So do the math, 9 times 4 is $360, cheaper than the post office.
Okay, yeah, because sometimes when I send to the EDD like a door by door, most I feel like they not send to the every property.
Oh, what do you mean, like
Door by door, the
Yeah, every door,
when
yeah.
you go into the post office.
Well, you know what? I've been doing this for years. What I learned: don't send mail out like on Tuesdays, Mondays or Tuesdays. Why? Because the mail's gonna go out on Wednesdays. You see on Wednesday that way you get the bulk mail. Like you get the penny saver, you get like a bunch of stuff, like the pizza flyer, what do you call it, like flyer. You know what's gonna happen to your flyer? It's gonna end up in the trash can. So what I do, I go to the post office like on Thursday or Friday, and the flyer's gonna go out on Saturday morning, fresh. So you don't compete with somebody else or with another realtor.
Oh, thank you so much. And the second question for everyone, when you do like a internet work, how do you accept? Lots of people, they want to add you, on the Facebook or whatever your website. How do you know the people is a real the person or who's really interested want to contact you for the real estate?
I think you do more of the internet.
How do you know if they're catfishing you?
Okay, that's not what I'm talking. No, you know what? It's like hit and miss. Okay, it's like the friend was saying, my phone is up by 9:30 at night because I get a lot of crazy calls, especially when I do the band design. That's another thing that I do. I throw say 450 band design, but the freeways. That's another way to go and attract business. And I get all kinds of crazy calls, people calling me. But anyways, you have to go through all those leads because it's hit and miss. It's like the guy I was telling you, I think the guy's from India with a weird last name. When he called me, I thought it was somebody from India playing a game. But you know what? I played the game. The guy went, I went to the property, I opened the house for him. He put an offer, we closed escrow, 5 years in the system. Everything's hit and miss, but you have to put the work. And then if you got a good CRM, you can see, in my CRM, I can see when they open the emails, when they receive the emails. When they get my text message from the system, I can see they can go ahead and read the stuff. And I got my system will say, you know what, so-and-so went back to your website. So then you gotta go back and follow up. Because there's no money bill for that, you have to work, Even with the website spending money, I gotta go back and, pick up the phone and call the client.
I have a comment about the internet. What happened to me a few weeks ago is some guy called, he said he had an all cash offer. And he wanted to purchase a condo that I had. And he wanted to make an appointment. We made an appointment for 1:00 the next day. He said, I'll send you all my information. I have all my finances. It's all cash. I'll give you all my bank statements. I told him I don't need all of that right now. I'll just go show it to you. He said, no, I want to send it to you. He said, open up your text. And there was a text and it was, he said, it's a voice text. I just need you to open it up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not computer savvy or anything. I said, no, I don't do any of that stuff. And he got so upset with me. He was trying to get me to open up the voice text. He said, I'm giving you all my information, my bank accounts, my bank statements. And I told him no. I said, do you want to see the house or not? If you want to see it at 1:00 tomorrow, I'll show it to you. But that's it. And he got mad, said a couple choice words, and I hung up. But you got to be careful of who you're dealing with, and you have to be careful with, especially vacant houses too. I had an incident a couple years ago of a vacant house where this guy just had a funny feeling he wanted to see it. He was so persistent. So I had a friend of mine go with me, and sure enough, when he had called me about 4 times during the day, in the morning, he called me again and I was supposed to meet him. The urgency was just so much, but the guy that went with me, he was an ex-police officer, and the guy showed up. He didn't say anything to either one of us. He didn't even look at the whole house, and he just walked out, and that was it. So I thought, trust your gut too. You have to be careful in this day and age. Trust your gut. If something doesn't seem right, take precautions.
So you guys, before we finish with the panel, because we're pressed for time, especially because I know you guys want to eat, because that's why you guys came here besides seeing the panel. Take this into consideration if you guys can think about this, because I know these agents pretty well. While we're, before we go to lunch, see if you guys can ask Frank, how does he go about his day? Because let me tell you, this guy has a timer and it rings every freaking hour. That's one. Number two, ask Lenny. You know, she's very good about relationships. So what else does she do? Pick her brain about that. Three, with Patricia, she's all about her designation because she deals with the senior community. Talk about that. If you guys don't know about designation, she can give you more insight about it. With Ursi, she's all about, she gets the listing. She doesn't even have to go in through the door. Find out, pick her brain. And with Javier, you know, he's Montclair, okay? He is Montclair, he knows as if, no, talk to Javier and ask him about all his marketing and advertising, everything that he does, especially because he has a team. So he's been building this for quite some time. And then pick his brain, pick everyone's brain here. But before we finish with them, if I can ask you guys to stand up, please. It's like the 7th inning stretch at a baseball game. So I'm gonna have you guys, you see your seats? If you can flip them the other way so that we can get prepared for the listing presentation that Sonia's gonna be doing for us. If you guys can flip the seat that way, facing that way. Now you guys have your back towards us, which is really mean, but it's okay because we're doing this just for the time being. Thank you very much for doing that. And thank you. And you guys can turn back around and say, give a round of applause to our listing panel. And like I said, pick their brain and go and eat.
And you guys, make sure you stay because we're in for a treat.
You guys have to stay.
Sonia would be on here if Sonia wasn't an owner. Sonia would be on the panel because you're gonna hear a live presentation from a phenomenal listing agent who is like amazing. So make sure you guys eat and then stay.
It's actually going to be a live listing presentation.
A
She's
live
doing it
Live listing presentation. So you guys gotta take notes, bust out your phones, but you guys stay. You guys can't leave. That's normal.
And we had you turn the chairs because she's gonna be over there, so. That was
I want you to see me.
Thank you.
I